Hey, Shalom. First of all, I just want to give all glory and praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the great millstone. Peace and much love, honors and blessings, salutations to the elect of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, which strive for this truth until death. Alright, this is Yaakov Wall. And I want to go into a topic real quick. Basically, the days of calamities that are coming. It's always a popular topic. Alright. But I was just thinking because I made a lesson a couple weeks ago about the drives that I do to camp on the weekends when I come up to Milwaukee to fellowship with the brothers and do camp. And I made mention about how Esau, he's out there, he's out there in the cities, man, trying to catch up Jake all the time. When you see the police around their job, because we already know they're backed by this hidden agenda, so-called hidden agenda. I mean, the world knows, but they got quotas they got to meet to snare up and catch up Jake. There's a certain number of Jakes that they even got to kill. All right, they got quarterly rates, monthly rates, half-year rates, yearly rates, and a calamity is just a time of trouble. And I sent this clip yesterday to the camp of what was it, American Gods, I believe. And the scene where I can't remember the dude's name. He's a pretty cool actor. He was the coach for the Drumline movie, the first Drumline movie. And he was telling the Negroes on that slave ship in this movie or in this show, he's telling them like what's going to happen to them in 100 years. And then 100 years after that, and then 100 years after that. And basically it just says like, you're going to be fucked. The white man is going to fuck you. And then he says 100 years after that, they're going to fuck you even more. 100 years after that, they're going to fuck you again. And so, we live in the days of calamities as well, man. Just being in America is a calamity. A time of trouble. The evil days. All right? But the times of like that ultimate reproach that we're going to get from the so-called white man, because the so-called white man, I always got to say it, he is Esau Edom from the scriptures. All right? He's the so-called devil. Not so-called. He is the devil that the Bible speaks about. And, this man was made to be a liar and an oppressor. A whipping stick, if you will. All right, the scriptures call the Lord that he has a design and a use for every creation that he has and for every purpose. And pursuant to Israel, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is used to put hell on you Israelites for being disobedient to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, the true powers that exist. Alright, so back on my point, this man's anger is getting to a point where it's going to roll over on the whole earth. Alright, the scriptures tell you in Revelation 12 chapter that the devil knows he has but a short time, which is why he's going to come down with great wrath. Then you got Isaiah 59, where it tells you that he's going to come in like a flood. So there's a scripture I want to read. It's in Psalms 57 and 1. And it says, let me go and get it. Psalms 57 and 1 says, to the chief musician, the big town of David, when he fled from Saul in the cave, it said, be merciful unto me, O Yahweh. Be merciful unto me. For my soul trusted in thee, yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make that my refuge. Right, and that part right there is something that we always pray for, and that's why we hope to the end that when Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai does decide to enact his pleasure or his will, that we'll be protected by him. Because we understand the Lord is going to allow the so-called white man to show his anger and really demonstrate it. But it's all for the purpose and will of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, but when those times come, the days of calamities, you know, you want to pray that the Lord protect you that time, because we understand what's coming is going to be basically the ultimate test, and you're either going to pass or fail. You're either going to make it out to life and be delivered, or you're going to die. That the devices that the Lord has created for what's coming for the day of judgment it's gonna I don't know how to say, it's big enough to overcome anybody. And unless you have the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you're not going to make it. I'll just say it like that. You're either going to make it or you're not. There's not going to be an in-between. There's not going to be a straggler, you know, grabbing onto the outside of a chariot, you know, or grabbing onto the leg of an elect. You're either going to make it and be delivered by Yahweh Shema Shai, or the Lord's going to kill you. All right? But it says, for my soul trusted in thee, yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed. And the reason, like, again, why I'm making this video is because I made mention about when I drive to Milwaukee, I always got to worry about the police, man. And I'm not saying like worry like that. It's just they're always out. There's a lot of them always out here, man. You know, on these back roads that I take, you know, they're always out there. And earlier I was meditating on the scripture or something that was said about how even a foolish thought is a sin unto the Lord. And as I was thinking it, I passed what do you call it? What do you call them, man? State patrols or whatever. I can't remember what you call them right now. But I passed one up, and there was a car behind me. And as soon as that car passed, he turned the lights on, but I was close enough to the cop that it seemed like he was going to come after me. So I started praying to the Lord. I was like, please don't be me. Please don't be me. You know, Baba Kashad. And he stopped the guy behind me. But I was like, damn. But what I was thinking about at the time was a foolish thought. And that's why I thank Yahweh Shema Shai, and I was meditating more because I was one car away from being stopped. And that just, you know, Esau is out there always. He has to stop people. He has to catch people up, because it could be a Jake. It could help him meet his end, you know, the quota. All right, Esau has an initiative, man, and it's that he wants to consume all Jacob. All right, the Lord gave him a challenge. It goes back, I think it's in Jeremiah, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the 30th chapters, in the 30s chapters, where the Lord had challenged Esau to figure out all the creation of the Lord, and if he did, he would cause Israel to cease from being a people. We understand it's an unobtainable task, but that's why you got Esau out in the heavens trying to claim, you know, the planets, claiming he knows what's out there in the heavens, you know, the stars, the nebulas, the galaxies, all that. That's why he wants to tell you. They finally made a break. You know, this came out a few weeks ago, man, or maybe even longer than that, a couple months. You know, Esau claimed that a meteor impacted on Jupiter, and that the meteor impact was enough to reveal what's inside of Jupiter's atmosphere and all that. Look, man, I mean, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. All right. Now, could it happen? Could that be possible? Yeah, the Lord could do something like that. The Lord could be trying to give Esau a little bone just to trip him up even some more. But when you look at the picture, it looks, you know, Esau can make anything look real. All right? But the point I'm getting at is that you got this man of wrath, all right? The man of oppression, the man of sin, and all opposition against the Lord. You got him working in the world. And he's working like crazy. He's on overtime. That's why the scriptures say, man, to be sober, to be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about, seeking whom he walketh about as a lion, seeking whom he may devour. So when you look at a lion who wants to devour, you know, that's him hunting. That's his skill. Or to eat, to satisfy his hunger, which we know Esau is hungry to eat up Jacob. He wants to swallow him up. All right? So a hungry lion, or a lion that wants to pounce and to take down, ain't out there to be your friend. He's trying to kill you. And that's what Jake doesn't understand, that the so-called white man has been deceiving him just so he can get over on him in the end. All right, Esau does all these deceptive pictures and events and councils and all that shit, man, because he's trying to catch up Jake to make him comfortable. And Jake is comfortable. We already know this. This is a world built to basically comfort your comfortability. All right. And that was the whole goal of Esau. Back when you look at the word system, it means an intricately designed plan. So, like I love mentioning it. It took Esau time to design what he has today in America. It took him time to design this way of living. So when you Jakes think that he's trying to be your friend, or that he has no ambition to hurt you in the end, that's a goddamn lie. All right, the scriptures talk about, man, he's going to come with you as swords. He's going to come with you with war in his heart. In fact, I'm going to get that. Hey, what does it say in Psalms? What is that, 62? I think, where it says, hide me from the secret counsel, because Esau doesn't want you to openly know, like, yo, nigga, I'm going to kill you, you know? But his end goal is to kill you. And we only got this through the Spirit, man. It was a scripture. I can't remember what it was. I have to go back. I screenshotted it. But when you break it down, or when you look at it in the NLT, it says before I found you, I was going off in all of my ways. See, we thought, this world was here for us to enjoy. Some of us thought about YOLO. We only live once. So we were trying to make the best of our life, because we only live once. Money, bitches, pumps, and all that shit. But this was all, these were all schemes and tricks created by the so-called white man. Hit a lick, rob a, fuck a bitch, and get on the next day. This was all created by the so-called white man. You look at who the first gangster was. There was a so-called white man. All right, the Borgia family, the first crime family. All right. So when you go into Jeremiah 13:23, it says, "Can the Ethiopian change his? Can the Ethiopian? How does it go? It's like, can the Ethiopian or the leopard change his spots? So can a man that is accustomed to doing evil do that which is good?" And that answer is no. The so-called white man was designed to be an evil vessel. All right? The scriptures already tell you the Lord created the good and the evil for his use. All right? And Esau is the use for evil. All right? So, this is Psalms 55:21. It says that the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Whose words? The so-called white man's words. The wicked, the deceiver, the liar. All right, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. All right, war is in the so-called white man's heart to consume you Jakes. All right, Ezekiel the 35th chapter tells you he believes it. He believes that these two countries shall be mine. That's talking about Israel and Judah, but he believes that they're given to him to consume. All right? Bartolome de las Casas wrote about it. The Spaniards, they came over, they seen a beautiful people, But in their minds, they were thinking, oh shit, I can use these motherfuckers to be my slaves. And that's been the nature of Esau since we've been here in America too. It never ended just because they wrote a bill back in the 60s to give us equal rights and this and that. And that was all guys, man. Again, because the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Because eventually what? Now we can walk around Esau thinking we're kind of equal, right? Well, if you don't have the spirit, you'll think you're equal to him. You think you have the right to be in his grocery stores, his Whole Foods, go to a nicer area where the Edomites basically shop at and you're okay. That was all the guys. Because the scriptures say that the words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. That's why you got Edomites. I seen a couple of weeks back, a brother posted the video where a Karen, white woman, went into a shop or something, some nice place, and she found out that the owner was black, but she thought the owner was a help. But then when she found out that she was the owner, when the Edomite, when this white bitch found out the black woman was the owner, she said she vowed to never shop there again. Like, bitch, okay. But that's the hatred, all right? All Edomites hate all Israelites. And really, how it should be is all Edomites or all Israelites should hate all Edomites. Because this goes back to the very beginning, man. We were at war with these people from the womb. We were fighting in the womb. When you go back into the story of Genesis of Jacob and Esau, it said that we were two separate people from the womb. We were entirely opposite to the other. All right. Esau is about doing evil. Jacob was created to do good. Now, I say was because at this time we going off. Our people are bought in and delusioned. But that even goes as far that goes to the so-called white man too. He beats your ass into subjection so hard that you believe the lies that you get fed here in this country. All right. So, but it says again, I'm gonna read it again. Psalms 55:21. It says that the words of his mouth was smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right. Because like I said, Esau has war in his heart. Esau wants to kill you. All right. He doesn't have any desire to share a planet with you. Well, the only reason he wants to keep you around is to work your ass to death. But other than that, he has no use for you, man. All right. We are 100% opposite of who he is. Esau's a weirdo. All right. And the brother, I told someone brought this out a few weeks ago about the Hunger Game movie. Even when I remember when I used to watch that movie, I would be like, what the fuck why do all these crackers dress like this? Because they want to be weird in the end, man. Esau is weird. That's why they've legalized everything. You can commit bestiality, and nobody really looks down upon you, man. They make sites for that shit, You're allowed to be an ABC. All right, the Moes. You could be a transmission. You feel like you're something, but you feel like you're a woman. You feel like you're a man. Shit, go ahead, be like that. I was watching a clip of Wild 'N Out yesterday. The newer ones they made. I don't really like them, but they got that bitch ass dude, Candy or whatever. Can't remember his name. I did a video on him a while back. It's a fucking dude. They got a transmission on the damn thing, man. And they got modes. But that shit is accepted because Esau is like, that's how Esau is. I can't remember. I think it was the book of Josephus where they talked about seeing Esau at his primal state. And they said that when they came upon these people, they were nude, they were lewd, they were based in their ways. Children with their own parents with other parents. That's where you get that swinging shit from, because Esau allows it. What did you have? Oh, well, this ain't about Esau, but what did Daniel call those two men they were going to try to basically rape Esther. You know, was it Esther? I always think it's either Esther or Judah. I believe it was Esther. But he called them out of the seed of Canaan. They weren't Canaanites, but they were doing things of Canaan, of the Hamites, the Canaanites. All right? Same way that you do things according to the Edomites. That's why the scriptures say that Jacob overpasses the deeds of the wicked. The wicked is a so-called white man. And you've had tell about, you know, bros talking about it. Don't jump over a Jake, or don't jump over an Edomite to get to a Jake. Because our people are wicked as hell today in this time, and they have fully bought and taken on, I don't want to say adopted, they've taken on the full embellishment of an Edomite. They're basically an Edomite, you know? But because they want accepted so bad, or they want money so bad, they'll take it further than an Edomite. And all that does to Esau is entertain his ass. I was watching Blood and Bone the other day, man. And I've seen where Joseph McVeigh, that higher old elite guy in the movie, you know, he tells, what's this dude's name? I can't remember the dude's name. But he's a Jake. And he wants to join the group of these old, stuffy white guys. And you know, but basically the Edomite goes, well, why do you want to be amongst a bunch of old, stuffy white guys? And the Jake says, same reason you are, for power. And then the Edomite tells him straight up, you know, as far as your acrobatism and your lavish heights of basketball and all that, and your cool hip jive dancing techniques, we really have no use for you. And then he says, do you set a plate for your pit bulls? And that's how Esau sees you Jakes, man. Entertainment. All right? And when he sees a Jake totally abandon what his programming was originally to be, which is a representative of Yahweh Shemiah Shai, that gets Esau going, man. That gets him off. All right? See, what y'all don't understand, these elites, man, they've indulged in their pleasure. The scriptures say, man, that they had gotten more than their heart could desire. So they're able to fulfill pleasure. Well, pleasure eventually has an end in this time. You get dull of the same pleasure. So they try to find out new ways, man. That's why the scriptures say they search out iniquity, because they're trying to find more ways to please their souls. And blood is a pleasure to them. So that's why they got different tactics of torture, you know, torments and all that. That's why they come up with these grievous prescribements, because they're like, oh, I'm going to get this Jake this way. All right? And these are all through the acts of war, man, because they want to kill you softly. They want to kill you harshly. They want to kill you in a ravishing way. They want to kill you in a merciless way, but with the same way. That's why when you see these movies, now I know I'm talking a lot, but when you watch these movies, when a person gets abducted by an Edomite and that person's screaming for help, it doesn't faze the Edomite, because that's his get off. That's what gets him going, just screaming. And you find that out back in these satanic rituals. They brought it out the most with Betty White. They had a commercial of her saying that she drinks the blood of a virgin every third Saturday of the month or some shit. Well, they really do this. But when they abduct a person, a Jake, and they're screaming, they need them to scream, because it releases a chemical in their body that mixes with the blood, and it's called adrenochrome. All right, adrenochrome. And adrenochrome, they believe, is like the elixir of life. It keeps their youth. So they drink it. They drink the blood. Ugh. I'm sick, man. I'm under the weather, and thinking about that shit maybe even. That shit's gross. See, Esau's a weirdo. That just proves my point. But they can only get that chemical by putting fear into their prey or whatever, which is you Jakes, referring to Nahum, what is that, 3:1, the 3rd chapter. You know, woe unto the bloody city is full of robbery and lies. A prey departed not. The prey is you Jakes, you Israelites. All right. The predator is Esau. And Esau is only a predator because of his gun, all right? And really, well, really, if you want to go deeper, because the Lord is allowing him to be like that. But Esau ain't shit. He's base. But you get what I'm saying, all right? See, you thought this whole time in your life, man, however old you may be, and you being in this truth, before you thought that the so-called white man was another just regular nation to live amongst. You lived amongst the Asians, the Arabs, you know, Hindus, whatever. What else you got? I don't know what else you got. The Chinese, yeah, the Asians, I just basically said. But you know, living in life in the society, man, you were taught we just all live together, and that ain't how it's supposed to be, man. There was a separation and a division from the beginning. But you had Esau break all these things down pursuant to Isaiah in the 23rd chapter. You know, he changed the laws and the ordinances. All right, and then it even tells you in Daniel that he would think to change times and seasons, because he's changing everything up, man. He's telling you it's okay to do this, it's okay to do that, when it ain't. I just watched Just Friends yesterday with my chick. Hey, I won't lie, you know, but it was about that movie with Ryan Reynolds, where he was a fat guy and he was in love with his best friend, his best girlfriend, whatever. But anyways, you know, I told her about it. I was like, bro, I was like, you see all the shit that he did just for this woman? I was like, I told her I would never do that shit. This is a fucking pussy, man. But that's Esau through his theatrics, teaching the people this is how you're supposed to be. You gotta give it all your best to get that one, man, the one that you really love. Put it all in. You gotta throw yourself out there and just hope for the best. No, man, that ain't how it's supposed to be. But yet, it's because of what you learned from the so-called white man that you act the way that you do today. So there's a problem with the earth. There's a problem with the person ruling, and the problem is that he's a bloody man. All right, and he wants to kill, man. He's been calm for a little bit, but he's getting tired of being at that so-called peaceful state, which is really not. It's still not. But there's coming a time where he's gonna break out. All right. Let's see. I'll read this first. This is Psalms 59. Oh, this is actually the next verse. Salakia. Psalms 59 and 2 says, "Deliver me from the workers of iniquity, save me from bloody men." And that's who he is. The so-called white man is a bloody man. All right. It says, "For lo, they lie in wait for my soul." It says, well, yeah, there you go. "For lo, they lie in wait for my soul. The mighty are gathered against me, not for my transgression, nor for my sin, O Yahweh. They run and prepare themselves without my fault." It says, "Awake to help me, and behold." And that's what we're waiting on. That's why the whole point of this lesson today was going back to verse 1. "Oh, my power, defend me from them that rise up against me." Wait, that's not it. Oh, this is not the same chapter. This is not the same chapter. Salaki, I think it was Psalm 57 then. Here, let me get it. Yeah, Psalm 57 and 1 says, "In the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge until these calamities be overpassed." So we're praying that the Lord protect us while Esau does what he's doing, while he gets to work, while he starts showing his wrath, showing them horns that he has, but that he's had tucked under for a minute. You know, we're praying that the Lord's going to protect us from him, so that we don't get caught up by an Edomite. You know, we don't get caught up by an Edomite who's going to disregard, you know, his position, you know, and just kill us. All right? Because that time is coming. You better believe it, man. The time of war, Jacob's trouble is near. All right? And, I mean, like Apostle Tahar said, when it comes, though, you got to be ready because it's gonna happen fast. When all these things come, man, when the MOTB gets mandated and pushed, when the MOTB gets pushed and then mandated, that's when Jacob's show is gonna really approach, and that's when all these other prophecies are gonna really start coming real fast. Because it's gonna be chaos, man. It's gonna be doom. You're gonna have this man basically fucking the world to his pleasure, and he's gonna be killing. All right. That's why the scriptures say death will come up into the windows, pursuant to Jeremiah. Because there's gonna be dead bodies and shooting and blood and all over the place because of Esau. All right. Then you're gonna have the culmination of the rioting and all that, the wars going on. You are gonna have race wars and all that, but that's that's just gonna be because people are gonna be trying to protect themselves or this and that, whatever, food, hunger, all that, the plagues. All right. So it's just hope for the best at the very end, and that best is the protection of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. So, don't forget, just because, your life may be okay, Esau's going to find a way, man, to hinder the world, man. He's going to find a way to really, he already knows that his intent. All right, his intent is to control the whole world. And he's going to do that with the MOTB, the RFID CHIP, okay? So, but how he's going to enact it, really, show it, war is the only solution. So, but we gotta wait and we gotta be patient and we gotta see and we gotta watch. So, with that, I want to go to end it. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, of great millstone. Peace and much love, honors and blessings to the elect of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, Brakatham. Shalom.